So All In came and went, and the event was a great event. But of course, every pay per view that we watch always have the highs and lows. So we're gonna go through that. We're gonna speak about that of the highs and lows of the AEW All In at Wembley Stadium. Also, we're gonna be talking about Rikishi, who has been going in and out of the dirt sheets, and we're hearing it as he is upset the way they are treating Jey Uso. The WWE is not treating Jey Uso like he wants it to be treated. Also, Hulk Hogan again in the news with sparks outrage at a beer, I don't know, gathering and makes a racist remark again. And this time, WWE should just cut him off completely and get rid of him out of the Hall of Fame. We're going to be talking about that and much more on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report.
Is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, and we are here once again with episode 209. And you have heard every podcast talk about All In, even during Sunday. What was amazing is that during Sunday's event, you had people on social media, especially on Twitter, complaining where the matches were put at. During the Tony Storm and Mariah May, I went into Twitter and I saw an individual who, he always complaining about something, talking about this is the best storyline in AEW. Why is it going second and whatnot? I'm like, I just got fed up. I'm like, listen, just be quiet and just enjoy the show. Does it really matter where it's at? You got to get the crowd going. What you want them to be bored for 3 matches and then you're going to start doing your thing? It goes to show you that this IWC is just toxic. It's ridiculous. And it gets somebody like me upset because it's just, when is this bullcrap going to stop? But, of course, like I said, every pay-per-view has their high and lows. AEW was not going to get away with that. You know what I'm saying? They got their highs and lows, and I got a whole notes here to tell you what I thought about every match that they had. First of all, we're going to go on the lows of All In and whatnot. So let's go with the lows. First of all, during the 0 hour, they went and they put Willow and Tomohiro Ishii versus Stokely Hathaway and Chris Stanlander, which it was fun. It was a fun match. I thought that Hathaway was going to be killed in the ring against Ishii, but no, he did a spine buster. He did things that I was very surprised. And I think Hathaway has some wrestling knives. So it was a fun match. But what does Tony Khan do? Tony Khan then books you ready for this? I never even seen this ever in my life, ever since I've been watching wrestling since I was 4, in 50 years and whatnot. He booked a 16-man tag team match. You heard me right. A 16-man tag team, which it was ridiculous. It was Tommy Billington, which is the Dynamite Kid, Kip Sabian, Rocky Romero, Top Flight, Andretti, and Rouge. They ended up defeating Private Party, Dark Order, Jay Lethal, Davari, Sana Singh, and Anthony Ogogo. I said 16 men. What we were thinking here? Why was even this booked? Did you needed to book Jay Lethal? Did you needed to book Private Party? Private Party has not done anything to improve themselves in the last 5 years. They still wrestling. They still wrestling House of Glory. I don't care what anybody says to me. House of Glory fans, you can't. They wrestled the same way they were wrestling when I first saw them in 2019 in House of Glory. Nothing has been changed. Davari, he's another guy that, I don't even hardly see him. He must be in Ring of Honor. Jay Lethal, Jay Lethal's Jay Lethal. Anthony Ogogo, why they trying to bring this man back? He didn't do anything and whatnot. Leo Rush, I was very surprised that Leo Rush was in the ring. And then he was in the 0 hour, which I think they should have put him in a better situation. Rocky Romero don't care. Rocky Romero, he works for AEW and dealing with the New Japan product. Kip Sabian, again, another talented guy. They're not pushing him like they're supposed to. The Dynamite Kid, he's coming up and, up and coming. So, but it's 16, 8 men in each corner. That was just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Another low that I saw there that, and there was the 10-man tag team. Now, the 10-man tag team wasn't that bad and whatnot. It was not bad at all. It was fun. You had Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara were the Ring of Honor tag team champions. Dustin Rhodes holds 2 belts. He holds the 6-man tag team with the Von Erichs. Sammy Guevara, of course, Katsuyori Shibata, and the Von Erich against Brian Cage, Gates of Agony, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett. Now, good match. I will not say it was a bad match. It was a good match. The only thing I had a problem with, and this is one of the lows that I saw, we saw Brian Cage come out with his swolvering, his outfit. That's what he wears. He likes Wolverine. He calls it Swolverine. He sells stuff online with that logo, Swolverine. And here comes Sammy Guevara wearing something similar to Brian Cage. I'm like, hold up. Am I seeing this right? What the hell? He looked like the witch version of Brian Cage. And when Brian Cage went and put something like that similar to on Twitter. But I was like, what the hell is going on here? So it's the only one that I know that wears that Wolverine outfit all the time is Brian Cage. So why would Sammy Guevara come out with a similar gear? And this is probably the reason why he's in Ring of Honor. A lot of people saying, why is he in Ring of Honor? He's not in AEW. This guy has been given opportunity, and he F's up all the time, constantly effing up. And that's one of them. Why would you wear the same gear of your opponent? Makes no damn sense, So, he was the pillar of the AEW. Now, he I don't even think they consider him the pillar. He hasn't learned. That's the way I look at it. So, also, the Chris Jericho. Now, this was in the pay-per-view, the low part of the pay-per-view. Chris Jericho and Hook. First of all, that match, the way the building of that match was not that great because they keep giving Hook the damn mic. This guy is not good in the mic, okay? Then they made it worse because then they had this FTW, there's no rules, there's no disqualification. But he's getting beat up by 3 guys in the ring, okay? One of them is almost 7 feet tall, or it is 7 feet tall, which is Big Bill. You got Big Bill, Brian Keefe, and Jericho beating the bricks out of this guy. He's coming back and beating everybody up. He ends up winning the match and whatnot, but not because before his father, Taz, came and choked out Brian Keefe outside the ring. But that's not believable. It's not believable. I'm sorry. It's not believable. However you put it, it was not believable. You know what I'm saying? Another low that I felt in the pay-per-view was Mercedes Moné versus Britt Baker. That match, that was horrible to look at. These women, especially Mercedes Moné finishing move, it sucks. Britt Baker, I don't know what she was doing. Britt Baker has not improved either in the ring. She got the push of a lifetime during the COVID era. The crowd was behind her. This match did not live up to the hype, to the whole storyline. It did not live up to it. It was just poof. I was like, what is this match was not pay-per-view quality, put it that way. It was an average match. You could have put this in Dynamite. Same way with the Hook and Jericho. You could have put those 2 matches in Dynamite. You didn't need to put this in the pay-per-view at all. You know what I'm saying? So, she ended up winning the match, but it's not something, that I expect. I expected better than that. So, The TNT Championship match, which is a coffin match, that match did not live to the hype either. That match was there was glass and all kinds of stuff. Darby Allin got thrown off the damn stage. You know, the typical Darby Allin stuff. And this match went quick. I don't know what the hell, they were running late or something. And all of a sudden, you know, you got Jack Perry winning the match. He beats Darby Allin in a coffin match. Up to me, I was like, why even bring the coffin match if he's going to lose? But I knew that Jack Perry was not going to lose that title. I mean, he just turned it to black. It looked like it got burned and whatnot. He's doing the same thing that Evil was doing in New Japan when he did it with the Never Open Weight title. He sprayed it black. That's a household torture gimmick, you know, that he's doing with the belt. You know what I'm saying? And I knew Darby Allin was not going to beat him, but this match is kind of short. Only for them to bring out Sting and whatnot, just for the nostalgia. It was nice to see Sting, but I don't know. I mean, this was the crazy part. Now, the highest part of the AEW All In was the ladder match. That was a great way to start a pay-per-view. They put Pac with BCC. Now, the way now it looks like, I don't know if Moxley's still with the BCC, because now Pac looks like he's part of the BCC and whatnot. But then again, he attacked Will Ospreay on Dynamite. So it's a lot of questioning. It was a good idea to put these guys together, because if you think about it, Pac and the Lucha Bros were supposed to win this trios title. But because the Lucha Bros are leaving AEW to go to WWE, which pretty much confirms it, because they didn't show up, they had now Pac teaming with Cesaro and Claudio Castagnoli, whatever his name is now, and Wheeler Yuta. It's definitely the Lucha Bros are coming to WWE. So Pac is now part of that team. He ends up winning the trios title with Yuta and Claudio. So but the match was pretty good. I liked what they were doing, and the whole nine. It was cool. The MJF versus Will Ospreay, that was a great match. I love the whole part. It pretty much shuts down a lot of these, you know, wannabe dirt sheet, wannabe wrestling journalists who claim that Daniel Garcia was leaving AEW. Apparently he is not, because now he is starting a feud with the biggest name in AEW right now. It's MJF. So that storyline is going to continue. So basically, Daniel Garcia probably signed already with AEW. But everybody wants to know the scoop and want to confirm it, like they work for the New York Times and shit and whatnot. And pretty much this confirms that Daniel Garcia is still with AEW. Ospreay ends up winning the supposedly the American title, which is now the international title. He didn't want to take the American title, which makes a lot of sense. I love the storyline, because he was like, no, I'm not taking that American title, because that's not American. I want the international title, the belt I had. So he already won it twice already. So now he's scheduled to wrestle Pac at All Out, which is, you know, something to look forward to. Again, and also it looks like Will Ospreay will continue to hit that Tiger Driver 91 and whatnot. So the Casino Gauntlet match, that was cool. That was awesome. That match, I mean, all the stuff that happened in that match for them, you know, to win the Casino. Ricochet made his debut, and the best part, Nigel McGuinness. I mean, that was a big pop in All In. That was the great thing that Tony Khan allowed to happen, because I think him and Daniel Bryan is going to fight. Are going to end up wrestling somewhere down the line. These guys are going to be, that's going to be Daniel Bryan's, I believe, and I'm calling it out right now, I believe it's going to be Daniel Bryan's retiring match, and it'll be with Nigel McGuinness and whatnot. But that remains to be seen, since Daniel Bryan said that, you know, not until they beat him for the world title, he's not retiring. So he said once he loses that belt, he's retiring. So who knows? Maybe his last match will be against Nigel McGuinness. That was cool to see him and Okada go at it. Ricochet making his debut, and I called it on my last podcast that was the best way for them to bring him out. I said this during my predictions. I said that, and it turned out exactly what I predicted. So that was cool. Christian made his best part. He made his return to the ring after he was already in the ladder match earlier during the night, and he goes and wins the Casino Gauntlet to get a shot at the world title, which is incredible to see. So he, of course, everybody thought that Luchasaurus or Kill Switch was going to turn on Christian once he came out right after Christian, but he helped them actually. So that was a cool thing to see. What are the Toni Storm and Mariah May, that match? I'm gonna tell you something. That match is probably the most highly great match that when it comes to the women's division in AEW history, because that one tops the Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa match they had back in March of 2022 when Thunder Rosa won the belt and the cage match, bar wire match. But Mariah May and Toni Storm, that storyline was beautiful. It went from the Owen Hart tournament all the way to now. I mean, they didn't even show Mariah May smacking her mother, which it was just incredible. It was just everything that you wanted to, that was in that match. And it was great. And then the world title, of course, that made it the bump that Bryan Danielson took against Swerve Strickland, and him taking that bump with the ring belt was, I was like, wow, I don't even know how he took that bump and still was able to beat Swerve Strickland, which with Hangman Page interfering, when I was like, oh, here we go, he's gonna cost Swerve's title. So once I saw that, I knew that Bryan Danielson was gonna win the belt. So now Bryan Danielson is the new world champion. Now I think the dud of the AEW match was the three-way between FTR, the Young Bucks, and the Acclaim. That match was it could have been going anywhere, whatever. The Young Bucks, of course, retained. Then the Grizzly Young Veterans, or the Grizzly Veterans, whatever their name is, come in, attack, confront the Young Bucks, but then attack the FTR. Now, is that match going to be good between these two? Yes, it is going to be good. It's going to be great. But AEW, I noticed that AEW don't have those tag teams they had 5 years ago. They lost a lot of tag team. The nostalgia of the tag team division is not there anymore like before. And again, they're not. They're going like through the same space and through the same thing like WWE is going. Even though WWE doesn't have a lot of tag teams, but AEW is doing the same thing. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. It's the fact. So that's my high and lows on the All In pay-per-view event. Otherwise, everything else, I gave it an 8. I'm not going to give it a 10. I'm not going to give it a 9, a 8, or 7.5, the most. Actually, between 7.5 and 8. That's what I'm calling it. So it wasn't bad. It was fun. I loved it. They were very low points. The Hulk Jericho match, didn't care. The Mercedes Moné Britt Baker, didn't care. Jamie Hayter coming back was cool. Saraya, being booed in her own country was incredible, but it is what it is, and that's my take on the All In and whatnot. So Rikishi has been, I'm going to the WWE. Rikishi has been on the wrestling news lately about complaining about Jey Uso. You know what I'm saying? He's been saying that his son is not being pushed, Jey Uso, to the expectation that he expect. And let's be realistic. He's complaining because he feels that Jey Uso is the hottest thing going on, and the hottest thing going on in wrestling, but yet he is not. He's not getting pushed, in other words. And I laugh because you know what it is? Throughout the years, the Samoa dynasty, the Anoa'i family always get what they want. If you look at the history of that family, you had The Rock, you had the Samoa, you had the Head Shrinkers champions, you had you had the Wild Samoans, now you got Roman Reigns, who helped, probably the third or fourth. I think he's the third person to hold the title the longest and whatnot in the whole thing. But now it looks like Rikishi is pissed off that WWE it's not pushing his son. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, But didn't Jey Uso got pushed last year in his feud with Roman Reigns and got a title shot? So what's the problem? I don't understand what is the problem. I mean, he got the push last year. He tag team champions. Actually, even with Cody Rhodes at one point, he's getting a lot of fanfare. He's like very popular and whatnot, and he's gonna be back in the storyline with the Bloodline versus Bloodline. It's gonna happen, but I guess Rikishi wants his son to win the world title. So that's the way I look at it, and it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So, this is from Cultaholic, which I'm not too crazy about that, but Rikishi teases Jey Uso could lead to WWE for AEW. Then I read this, I'm like, okay, this man is just losing it. The Bloodline in all its form rules WWE, with the assorted members of the Noy family having held liberty of titles and main event position for the past few years. Just like I said, one of the most popular members of the extended Bloodline is Jey Uso, but despite Jey being super over, his father, WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi, is upset that WWE haven't fully pulled the trigger on the Golden Lantern. Maven Jey runs saying the following off the Top Rope podcast. He said, once the Money in the Bank didn't go through, I thought, let's see what they do now. Maybe they will give him a shot. Maybe they'll send him up for the, I don't know, the Intercontinental belt. I think he deserves a shot at the World Championship. I don't know why. He already had a shot at the World Championship. I'm at this point where I want to call my son, go ahead, take a break. Obviously, the writers don't know where to put you, or they can write something that is right for the character Jey Uso, also the Yeet Man, right? Then he said, I mentioned this, definitely WWE is making money off the Yeet Man. The Yeet Man is making money himself. The only difference is the Yeet Man is working for his money. You see it every week. There is new merchandise for Yeet coming out. The Yeet Man is out doing personal appearance. I mean, it's not because he has to. It's because that is demand of the fan. Of all the characters they picked the Yeet Man. So what I'm saying is, make no mistake about it. I am not in favoritism of my son. I'm speaking about what is happening because this could be any other wrestler. What is the case? Why aren't you lighting this kid up and just letting him do his thing? I appreciate everybody. Let's hope WWE gets together and do the right thing. And Rikishi continue, noting that if WWE fumbled Jey, then they could easily pack his bag for All Elite Wrestling. He said, this kid is so good. WWE ain't the only spot. He could probably go to AEW if he wants to write his own ticket, maybe more than what WWE is making of him. Hopefully they turn it around and do the right thing by Yeet Man. Well, it's incredible that this man right now has put his son in a situation that if WWE wants, they could bury him. I'm not saying they're going to bury him, but I'm saying, like, the man had a title shot last SummerSlam. What you want? You want everything to stop and just, he's not a SmackDown, but since he's the Yeet Man and they're making money off him, give him a title, give him the world title. It's not the way it works. It's not the way it works. I'm not saying that Jey Uso is not a great wrestler. He's not a great competitor. I just feel like he got his shot. So why his father's putting him in a situation that's not good at all? I don't know. They're going to have to figure it out. The fact that he said, look, he could take time off, don't sign another contract with WWE and go to AEW. He's gonna get lost in WWE and AEW also. There's too many guys over there. It's too many guys. So either way, if he goes to WWE or AEW, he's gonna be in the same spot. You know what I'm saying? But Rikishi has the mentality of my family runs the WWE. We get what we want. Apparently, you're not getting what you want. Vince McMahon is not there anymore. It's a whole different regime. You know what I'm saying? And Triple H supposedly is going to do what's best for business. You know what I'm saying? And right now, that's what he's doing for best for business. So let's talk about another situation. Hulk Hogan incites crowd and whatnot. This is the same idiot, and I'm going to call him an idiot, who went and used the N-word a couple of years. He got recorded. He ended up, the person who did the recording, went out of business. He took him to court for everything that they had. They went out of business. I forgot what was the name of the company, but everybody was like, oh, okay, he's sorry. He will never do that. And he went back to WWE. Eventually, WWE took him out of the Hall of Fame. He came back and apologized. And it's funny because guys like Big E, Kofi Kingston, the New Day, they were like, that you can say whatever you want, we don't believe it. And they left it like that. Hogan came back, I think last year's WrestleMania, whatever the case may be. But he has not been the same since that whole situation with the racist remark. Well, Hogan decided to come out at the Republican convention and make a fool out of himself, supporting Donald Trump and whatnot. And that was not a good idea, because as soon as that happened, he was supposed to have autobiography or movie about him, where the actor Helensworth, who does Thor, was supposed to play him, and they canceled it. Netflix canceled it. They were like, nope, we're not doing that project. Not only that, so that happened, and I think during that same week, this man decides to incite crowd with a controversial remark about the presidential vice president, Kamala Harris. So for a long time, Hogan was the most popular wrestler in the world. The 12-time world champion, Hogan was the face of both WWE and WCW. I don't know about that 12-time world champion. I don't think he's been 12 times. I got to count that. And recent genius fans have called into question Hogan's ability in the ring, his fabrication of his past in the wrestling industry, and leaks recordings of Hogan using questionable language. Unfortunately, another video has surfaced that can be added to that list. So, in the video acquired by TMZ Sport, Hogan began to lead a crowd in a Stone Cold Steve Austin style "What?" chant while promoting his new Real American beer. The crowd work started simple enough, asking only if they wanted cocktails, crazy girls, beers, and muscles. However, things took a strange turn toward the political when he threatened to body slam and perform his signature leg drop on Vice President Kamala Harris, the presumptive Democratic Party nominee for president. He said, "You want me to body slam somebody? You want me to body slam Kamala Harris?" I said, "Do you want me to body slam Kamala Harris? You want me to drop the leg on Kamala?" Then he asked if Harris was a chameleon or Indian before making a stereotypical gesture associated with indigenous Americans. He seemed to realize he made a mistake. "Well, I'm going to get heat for that one, brother," Hogan said. "That was not me. That was the beer talking." Okay. Hogan publicly endorsed Trump when he appeared as a speaker in the national. He said, "You better get ready," Hogan said, "when Donald J. Trump becomes president of the United States, all the real Americans are going to be nicknamed Trumpites." Whatever. Anyway. So now he comes out of nowhere and claimed that it was the beer. That it was the beer. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm one. A leopard never changes spot.
You freaking idiot.
And, I don't even know what to say about this, because it's like you continuously make yourself look like a fool. You come out of the Republican Party, act like a fool. Your autobiography is now, your project is done. Netflix don't want to deal. I have nothing to do with you. And maybe it had to do because you appear like a dumbass at the Republican convention. And then now this. You're promoting your Real American beer, and now you saying that you said those stuff about Kamala Harris because it was the beer talking. No, Hogan, you are a bigot. There is no other way to say it. You got caught one time in the recording, and you got caught again. And then not only that, but someone got arrested because of what Hogan said, and he went after Hogan, and the man got arrested. So goes to show you that this man is creating. I mean, he's in his 70s already, some shit. He's 70 years old, whatever. And this is what Hogan's doing now. This is one of the guys who I used to look up to when I was a kid. Hulk Hogan was my favorite wrestler growing up. When he won the belt from the Iron Sheik, I was a Hulkamania. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something, brother. So now this is what we get. It's funny because these wrestlers, once they get old, they start doing crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Ric Flair was another guy. He's always doing. He got into arguing with somebody in a bar for a tap. You know what I'm saying? These guys getting Bully Ray right now is is on Twitter going after fans because fans said that Brock Anderson sucks and whatnot. So he's out there in Twitter getting pissed off and whatnot. You know, he's like, oh, your people don't know what it is to be inside the ring, whatever. That's what they call fans. They're going to criticize. Brock Anderson made a remark saying that AEW doesn't have a developmental, talent, whatever the hell. They want to. They said they had one. That's what you had. Your father should have taught you that. You sucked in the ring. Simple as that. And they let you go. You wasn't. Come on. Just because you're the son of a legend does not mean that you're going to be. You want me to give you an example? And my boy Mike know about this though. My boy Mike, Eric Watts. Who remember Eric Watts? Well, Eric Watts used to wrestle in WCW. And Bill Watts, his father, who was the guy in charge, was pushing him to the moon. And he sucked. Eric Watts sucked. So it's funny. And again, and going back to these wrestlers who are getting old, or better yet, some of them are podcasters, like guy like Eric Bischoff, Jim Cornette, all these guys, Conan, all these guys who are now old and they're not relevant in the wrestling business are out there in the Twitter world taking pot shots at everybody and whatnot. But nobody tops Hogan. Well, Hogan did see whatever Eric Bischoff's doing, saying whatever, the Jim Cornettes, the wrestle talks, whatever. It's nothing compared to what Hulk Hogan's doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into politics like that, but when you start talking about questioning people's race, talking about if she's a chameleon, right there, buddy, you're not making it any better for you. Okay? If Ari Hanari decides that, well, you know what, we don't need this type of bullshit in my company, TKO, they get rid of you. You know what I'm saying? The Rock went on Twitter and shouted out, questioned Hogan for his stupid behavior. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that is it for me today, guys. I thank you once again. All those who supported the podcast. The podcast finally made the 60,000 views. That is an accomplishment. We're gunning for 500 subscribers. I mean, guys, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think on All In and reviews of highs and lows. Let me know about Rikishi. Is he putting his son in a situation where they may not push him the way he's getting pushed right now or he's just another bitter wrestler who's pissed off that thinks that, I mean, it is his son, but still, you're not making it easy for your son. And let me know what you think about this Hulk Hogan bullshit. I mean, like, it's crazy. Let me know what you think and your thoughts about it. Again, guys, you want to follow me on social media, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, DX, and of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And again, let's get 500. We're gunning for 500 subscribers. Help. Come on. Tell your friends. Let everybody know. Also, we're available on audio format on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, etc. iHeartRadio. Anyway, you guys want to find me. So until then, guys, I will see you guys next week with more Chokeslam Wrestling Reports.